The 27th of December 2022 will be a day to remember for every single Juventino on planet Earth. Why? Because today we are doing the link between the past, the history, and the future. Andrea Agnelli last speech as president of Juventus. Who are the new board of directors made of 5 persons? Not only who they are, but what is their mission. The big cameo of Luciano Moggi with big bold statement, who is also doing the link about what happened in Calciopoli 2006 and what is happening today with all the attacks of the different media. Well, you want to speak about Isco in the Mercato free to Juve in a few days? We can speak about Isco and also about Federico Chiesa. Come back on the field yesterday, anticipating everyone instead of going to the mountains. Guys, a lot of things will be discussed today. It's an important video. If you care about Juventus, put a maximum of likes, subscribe to the channel, we start. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. We start immediately with the words of Andrea Agnelli that explain a lot of things, super important. Listen carefully because I will read you and we'll try to analyze what he's saying. So he starts immediately saying that leaving the presidency of Juventus was absolutely not an easy task for him, not an easy decision for him. In addition of loving Juve, repeating the words, I love Juve, he said, I've worked really hard to achieve the extraordinary result of recent years on and off the field. I took this decision in full serenity, in calma. I remain firmly convinced of the good works of all these years, an opinion that was confirmed also in recent weeks by the analysis of numerous experts. Juventus will demonstrate its legitimacy in every avenue. So what do we know here from the 2 first chapters? First of all, that it was hard for him to leave Juve because he loves Juve as a big #1 fan, but also that they analyzed everything with a lot of experts showing that Juventus behaved correctly and that Juventus, they want to answer in every single possible avenue, which is totally good because I told you a few weeks ago on the 28th of November, one thing that was important. Juventus, they will defend themselves. He continues saying, I thought that it was appropriate to take a step back to avoid that one could even think that the choices and decisions that Juventus will be made from now on were conditioned by my personal involvement. That's super important. He's saying, I left not because I was thinking that I was wrong or that Juventus committed wrong things. No, I'm leaving because I don't want that people are thinking the Juventus company is defending Andrea Agnelli. No, he's saying Juventus has to defend Juventus. I am not acting to defend myself, but Juventus has to defend themselves. Attenzione, because he's also saying that the strategy already exists. Look here. He's saying all the choices and decisions that will be made from now on, I don't want that people are thinking it's because to defend Andrea Agnelli. So super important what Andrea Agnelli is saying here. Juventus already made the choices. Is he already speaking about the future of continuing the project with the Superliga or not? What about transfer? Is he thinking about whatever? I don't know. The way to defend themselves. We will discover that, but one thing is sure, we already know what to do. And he finished with, it was an honor to be the president of Juventus, which comes before everything and everyone. Fino alla fine. Do you remember on the 8th of September 2011, when we cut the rope of the Allianz Stadium, he said, Juventus is more important than every single player, is more important than every single coach, is more important than every single president of Juventus, is more important than everything. Well, today he finished his presidency after 11 years saying, today Juventus is more important than everything and everyone. Fino alla fine, until the end. Fantastic words of Andrea Agnelli. Attenzione, we'll discover that in the future. But what about the cameo of Luciano Moggi that was in the management in 2006 with Calciopoli, actually. The attacks on the media that made them go away. A bit repetitive of what's happening in 2022. Attacks on media, attacks by the courts, and so on, that made actually that the new management, the one that is in place today, had to leave as well. It's exactly repetitive. When Luciano Moggi went to the shareholder meeting, he took the microphone to say a few big important things. He started with, I'm here to say thank you to Andrea Agnelli for the 9 years of consecutive Scudetti, but the more even, all his presidency made of a lot of trophies won. And I'm here because I know how difficult it is to win and to continue to repeat the victories year in, year out, year in, year out. He said, I'm here also to understand. Because if I read the newspapers, it looks like there are only drama, catastrophes. And instead, if you are analyzing a bit more, if you are going a bit more in detail, it looks like it's a bit different. He continues to say the legend that Juventus is stealing, la Juve ruba. How many times did you hear this? It's probably absurd. It is absurd because Juventus always won on the field. And probably some people stolen things from us. And he repeats the example, facts, the big deluge, the rain in Perugia, do you remember in 2000 with Lazio winning it. Continue with Nakata, the last minute change of rules that allowed him to play versus Juventus last minute. 2-2. The dreams of Scudetto of Juventus went away. Continues to speak about Orreali, super important at Inter, Nazionale, a guy that was actually proven guilty about the fake passport to make sure that Recoba was able to play. He showed a little box inside a USB stick and he said, here, I give it to you, Andrea Agnelli, all the evidences, all the reports of Calciopoli, where you will also hear Carraro from Federazione Italiano Gioco Calcio in the time, saying that Lazio and Fiorentina, they needed to be defended because they couldn't be relegated. Don't help Juventus. And so many more audios that nobody heard when in 2010-6 Juventus was judged guilty. He's saying that Juventus is the scapegoat of Italian football. He's the one that is always under attack. And we have to pay attention. We have to defend ourselves. He's actually linking 2010-6, 2022, because we see again the same pattern. Attenzione. He's still fighting against Calciopoli after so many years. That battle will not be solved really fast of 2022, but we have to fight. And looks like Andrea Agnelli, in his speech, his last speech as president, he said, we know what to do and we will fight back. Who is the new CDA? Because this is the past, we have to think about the future. 5 people. Well, it's not a bit the narrative of Corriere dello Sport who is saying, we are here with le pulizie natalizie. That means cleaning up the Christmas mess. No, this is not the title that we want to report. I want to report the title of Tutto Sport, who is saying Juve CDA da battaglia, a fighting new board of directors made of 5 people. And here is the first tip. Here is the first clue. Super important to understand. We were with 10 people in that board of directors. We are with 5 now. We will go through who they are individually, all these persons. What is the meaning of these persons? What are their challenges? But important for you is to understand that there is still room to add 1, 2, 3 important faces and names in the future. At the moment we start with these ones that have a mandate for 3 years. Attenzione, important. It's not a long term board of director. They can stay, of course they can stay, but we will see here in a 3 years. Important. The first one, and we already heard the name, is Ferrero. Who is Gianluca Ferrero? 59 years. Important. He will be the president, the one that will lead that board of directors of Juventus with a big challenge. The first one is defending themselves from all the attacks that are coming. 5 persons, and all of them have nothing to see with sporting side. They are all really important faces and names in the laws, in the finances, as we already said. Here they are. Gianluca Ferrero, big supporter of Juventus since a kid, lifelong supporter. He also traveled to watch Juventus in Champions League, also in other countries. Big supporter of Juventus, but is it enough to be the president of Juventus? Absolutely not, because he's also the vice president of Banca del Piemonte, the Bank of Piemonte. Being the vice president there, guys, mamma mia, you have to know about numbers. Not only that, he's an accountant, he's an auditor and technical consultant. We already know a lot of things about Ferrero. Scannavino, well, the bad news is he's a supporter of Torino. Anyway, who cares? If he can help Juventus to go back at the top, he can be the supporter of any single team on earth. I don't care. Anyway, supporter of Torino, but important one because he will become the CEO of Juventus. Just like Ferrero, he's a long-time associate of Juventus family with John Elkann. He knows John Elkann since long time. He's a trusted person of the family. The CEO of Gedi, important. He's also the one that is managing La Repubblica, La Stampa, 10 local newspapers, radio DJ, and a lot of digital audio platform like one podcast. The guy, he knows a lot. He was there also to the relaunch of Fiat Group that was led by Sergio Marchionne. He's, for example, the one that was in the plan to launch La Fiat 500 because Fiat was, again, unknown in the past. It was forgotten by the mass. They relaunched the brand Fiat, and today you can go on the street and you see everyone is driving a Fiat. Attenzione, important names, Cannavino. Even if he's support of Torino, I don't care. The three other ones are people that we don't know that much. We're speaking about Fioranna Negri, Laura Capiello, and Diego Pistone. Let's start with Fioranna Negri. That is actually a commercialista, businesswoman that knows about she's an expert about the books since more than 30 years. 35 years of experience in companies and various sectors, an expert of auditing, and we know it. We go back to Diego Pistone. He's 72 years, the oldest one here with the most experience. Well, Diego Pistone has 48 years of experience in the family Exor. He's really a right hand, a really known and trusted person in the family Exor. He did a lot of things like dealt with supply systems, after sales, commercial network development, management control, and administration for various companies within the Fiat Group. I want to end with an important one, Laura Capiello, that you probably never heard about. Well, she's an important one. A lot of people that went a bit into detail, they are referring to Laura Capiello as an important, really important person. She's 50. Well, she's a super lawyer. She's a specialist in business law. But not only that, because she worked in a lot of corporate things with Microsoft Corporation, with Green Powell, with Leonardo, with Enel, and so on, but also with Oric. If you know a bit about American sport, NFL, you know what Oric did for NFL matters. Attenzione, she can be a really, really important person also because she knows about fusion, acquisition, and so on. For the development of a really beautiful Juventus, she can be a decisive person. Why am I speaking about these 5 persons? Is to explain you who they are, to give you some details that probably will be difficult to find online, but also to explain you the difference with the other one. Well, it's a CDA, a board of directors that is made for the present, for today, to fight. They have more skills and looks like they are top person to fight and be there in the board of directors of Juventus versus the other ones that were there. Not that they were bad, they were good, but these ones are top players. It's a bit like the Mbappé, the Messi, the Cristiano Ronaldo, the Holland of today, if you are speaking about the field. They are there. Top names to defend Juventus, to go into the battle. It's one for the present. Let's see if they will be there also in the future, in 5 years, in 10 years. But today we are ready. That's a fantastic. But it's also showing you another thing. John Elkann is taking the ownership. John Elkann also wants to be involved in a way. And that's why you have a lot of people that were known by him. What about Del Piero? Well, I told you and I want to go fast on that. At the moment, no Del Piero, no sporting people. It will be director and given to Allegri, Cherubini, and Storari. All of them have an unknown future. We don't know what will happen at the end of the season, but at the moment, no other people will enter. The sporting person that can come, and we go with so many names, Giuntoli, Marotta, and so on, these decisions will be taken at the end of the season, more or less. Maybe a bit before, and we will not know it. But anyway, it depends on the results, also about what will happen in court, and so on. We'll enter with some sporting people. The future of Juventus should start today, guys. What about Gazzetta dello Sport? They are also speaking about it, but look at the difference. I don't want to repeat myself. Look at the difference, how small they put the organigram, the hierarchy of Juventus there, because they prefer to focus, of course, about the problem of Vlahovic. Vlahovic that will not train with his teammates today on the 27th of December. Cremonese is at risk. He will not play versus Standard de Liège. He needs to heal from his growing pain. They looks like that's more important as the future of the Juventus. It is what it is. Then they love to speak a lot about the problems of Juve. Double page, Juve, all the core, the investigations and all the risk. Again, the risk, the investigation. Double page with Agnelli in big, with Cristiano Ronaldo. Arriva bene, Nedved. Guys, I told you, they love. It was 2 days that they couldn't speak because the front page, the papers of Italy were closed. 25th and 26th. Today they go with, again, repeating the double page about the investigations of Juventus. Guys, I told you that we wanted to speak also about Mercato. Isco for free. If you're still there, thumbs up. Let me know in the comment. Isco for free. It came out of nowhere yesterday. Why? Because it's a player that stopped in contract with Sevilla. Well, I was going into detail. He was not earning that incredible much money. He was earning 5 million a year, a season, for a 2 years loan contract with Sevilla. Can he be an important one? 30 years, Isco, for free. Now, a real number 10, if we want to speak about him like that. I don't know, guys. I have never been 100% a big fan of Isco, even admitting his skills, his talent. Can he be an important person for Juventus today? Why not? Offensively, creative mind. But I believe that also his last start at Sevilla was not fantastic after leaving Real Madrid. I am not sure. I am really not sure about Isco to Juventus, but the voices are there because apparently Allegri is a big fan of him. I want the comments. Do you want Isco at Juventus for free for maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? What about Chiesa? Well, again, he showed his professionality because yesterday he was already there. He tagged Juventus on Instagram and he's back on Twitter. Well, Chiesa is there. He's ready on San Stefano. That was yesterday. Ready. And today he's there back to train. He wants to play that game versus Standard de Liège. What about the other ones? Well, we spoke about Pogba yesterday with his selfie in the snow that created a lot of controversy online. Famiglia Bonucci a Parigi. Bonucci decided to go to Paris, and then you see Di Maria that is still there in Rosario in Argentina with the family, showing his wishes to the world. What about the future? The future is today for Milik, because Milik, he has 6 months to show Juventus that he's deserved to be a real Juve player. Today he's on loan from Marseille. He wants to say, I am here. I am a Bianconero. Attention, I believe that Milik could potentially remain at Juve for a few years. What about Keane? He changed agency, said goodbye to the Raiola agencies, went to a new one. Well, he wants to already warm up because he knows that without Vlahovic, he will be the starter versus Cremonese. The one that scored that goal, that winning goal versus Rijeka, after scoring a brace versus Lazio and all the goals that he scored in the end of November. Well, Keane is ready. Keane is ready. Let's see if he will convince all of us. Andrea Agnelli is not gone totally from Juventus. He is leaving the presidency, but him, together with all the other ones, are defending Juventus to prove that we are innocent, that first, and then to create an even better, even bigger Juventus. And that's why these 5 top board of directors people are there to show that Juventus is one of the biggest club in the world. Grazie, forza, Juve.